Hi, and welcome to yet another video associated with your Bread and Circuses class. Hi, I'm Cheryl Golden, and what we're doing today is to do a quick overview of your final project for this course. Step 1 is due this week. This is week 4. A couple of you have sent me emails saying, hey, it can't be that easy, is it? I just follow the instructions here and turn it in. Yep, it is that easy. So let's just do a quick overview. If you go to our Blackboard website and you go to our Begin Here page, you will find a prompt or a link for this final project. And so it's this document right here. So what we've done is to try to break up the assignment into several pieces. But if we can, let's go through it quickly here. The final project is worth 200 points of your entire grade. And I'm asking you to take a look at your city, whichever city that may be, whichever town that may be, and the creative spirit. Most of my examples come from Wichita because we're here and there's plenty of things in the news to consider, but you may have a different location or a space you want to tell us about. So please do that. So for example, how to start. We're going to say, let me just read through this. We're going to complete this project in parts so as not to have it done all at once, or have to have it due all at once. We're going to try to use elements from the whole class. So think about the things you've already done, your readings, some of your writing assignments, some of your community activities, some of your discussions. Please feel free to use those. In fact, that's what I'd like you to do. I'd like you to be able to build on what you've already done. Please note that you do have to complete this project in order to complete the class. This is sort of our comprehensive final exam, but we're doing it in pieces. So the goal is to find a place, to find a venue, an event that helps you to explore the goals of the creative spirit. So for our first, and that's the whole thing. So for our first element, and that's due this Friday, please, in a Microsoft Word document, right, or just any kind of document, you can even type it in at Blackboard where the assignment is due if you prefer, identify 3 of the goals for the creative spirit as noted in our syllabus. Over here, I have also from our Begin Here page, the goals of the creative spirit noted. So just a reminder, these goals, there are 6 of them. You're supposed to choose 3. So how do we engage in the creative spirit? Where does human creativity come from? How does the creative spirit lead us towards transcendence? How does the creative spirit connect and link us to each other? And then where can we recognize expressions of our creative spirit? Maybe this is literature, music, art, theater, sports, gladiator competitions, dance. How has the creative spirit influenced various aspects of society? History, government, business, maybe even science, right? So you pick 3 of these goals. As things move along, you may decide, that was a bad choice. I don't want to do the connect and link us together. That's not where I'm headed. I want to change those goals. Absolutely fine. Absolutely fine to do that. But right now, pick the 3 that you think you might most want to cope with. So that's your first job for this Friday. Pick 3 goals. Then come up with an example of a space, a venue, an event that you think you would want to work on as your project, go into more depth for the course of the semester. This can be your out and about project. If you really enjoyed the place you went or the event you described, do that. We have a project coming up this week. I'm asking you to take a look at graffiti in New York, 1972 and onwards. This is Ivor Miller's attempt to look at graffiti as a social movement. Again, we may think of this as vandalism, but he's looking at its origins, if you will, in New York City, much like you've looked at the origins of the gladiator games. Where does this come from? So I'll have you do a project. It's not a writing project per se, but I'll have you do a project where I'll ask you to go around town and look for examples of art in the city that is graffiti or maybe is inspired by graffiti. So if you find your out and about project, if you find your graffiti project is something you really want to work on, go for it. If you find that you really enjoyed the theater elements, we've looked at Antigone and we've looked at Shakespeare. If you really like the idea of theater, community theater, as an important aspect of the city, the arts, the creative spirit, go with that. What I'm saying is, if you've got work you've already done in class, let's try to build upon it. If you were energized by the Art in the Park controversy that's due this week, and many of you have been, use that, right? So think about things that have kind of gotten you interested, and think about ways you can use the that example and build off of it, right? But for this Friday, what's due is pick 3 goals, write them up, and then identify a venue or an event that is city sponsored, that is somehow enjoying taxpayer dollars, right? Because that's our main deal, is why is the city involved? Why is the community involved in this event? What does the community feel is important about it, right? So please identify that event and give 3 goals that you think you'll want to explore. As time goes on, and let me make sure I'm going in the right direction here. As time goes on, Friday the 28th, which is just a week from Friday, I'll ask that you turn in a little research and show that you have actually found that the event or the venue you're talking about does enjoy taxpayer support. Yeah? And how do you do that? Well, you might have to do a little research. You might have to find the venue online and see where they get their donor support. Botanica, for example, here in Wichita, the Botanical Gardens enjoy, I think, both city and county support. Our zoo in town is county supported. Most of the museums in town enjoy city support of some sort. It might not be that they get a check each year from the city, but they might enjoy a very low rent on an old city building to create their museum, right? Let's see, even Veterans Memorial Park is located along the river, and that was certainly set up with a lot of private money, but there's also a lot of sidewalk maintenance that happens and other things. Maybe they enjoy no taxes, because that's some really prime real estate along the river, right? So there's maybe they just enjoy a tax break. That's good enough. So by next Friday, you need to show that you've looked to see how your tax dollars support the event or the venue or the place you're talking about. By October 7th, that's a Sunday, by October 7th, the real writing happens. And on October 7th, you're going to turn in a 3 to 4 page essay that demonstrates the following: the inspiration for your work, why did you choose this place, the 3 goals of the course that you can connect to your project, and how this project reflects those goals. Right? So that's the analysis of the goals that I'm hoping you're doing along the way with all your writing projects. And then finally, how 3 of the course readings, yeah, it can be any of the course readings, it can be the ones you've written on, it can be other things, how 3 of the course readings and maybe even some of your discussions have influenced or can support your work. This is where we get that sort of comprehensive exam part. So, how can you bring in the work you've already done to make connections to your venue? How is your venue like inspiring a democracy the way Antigone might do it? How is your venue helping to create identity for the community, maybe as the Roman Colosseum did? How does your venue reflect a society's concerns about morality, as we've seen in the Art in the Park controversy and in Shakespeare's London, right? So there's how can you compare your venue to things that you've already done in this class? Yeah? And so that's due October 7th. As you know, that's getting close to the end. And then by October 17, which is really sort of kind of getting close, really close to the end, I'm going to ask you to do your own creative project. This might be a PowerPoint, this might be an essay, this might be a poem. I've had folks craft brochures for events because they're maybe graphic designers or they're marketing majors. They want to craft a brochure for their particular venue. What else have we had people do? Oh, photo essays, paintings, posters. There's all kinds of ways to take a look at this and see what you want to do in a creative fashion. So by October 17, the idea is that you have put together your own, from your own creative spirit, a creative approach to discussing why your venue, why your event helps to reflect upon the city, the arts, the creative spirit, and how different events and expressions help to define the city that it's associated with. That was a long discussion of a 2-page assignment. The first thing that's due, and it's due this Friday, is the first 40-point installment. Don't miss it. Do it. Identify 3 goals you want to work on, and identify a venue or an event that you want to make the focus of your final project. Get that in on Friday. Just send it to me. I think there's a place to link at the class and upload it there. So please get that done by Friday. Again, if you change your mind along the way, no harm, no foul. Let's just get started. Thanks a lot. Have a good week. It's only Wednesday, but it's week 4, halfway there.